Welcome to our channel, guys. Happy hour, and we're here to discuss, as you guys know, season 3 episode 2 of the Real Housewives of Durban.
Hi guys, it's so juicy. You think we're already on episode 5, but the ladies have just started. We'll start off with that first scene that you guys saw there when it was Annie and Jojo. They were discussing after Annie had a party last week, so Annie Jojo called Annie to the side because she was feeling that Annie is a little offish.
Yeah, and I think I feel sad for Annie. Obviously, we've all noticed her eye. I didn't realize how many people are actually bullying her because of her eye. I'm so sad about that, and the fact that people feel the need to stoop that low.
But with that said, I am sorry that she was bullied. It is a really, really bad thing to happen to anybody. But I just feel like it's not an excuse for you to bully others. You can't say or try and justify the way you treat other people at times because you were bullied and now it gives you some kind of right to bully others.
Yeah, so for me it's like, okay, if you were bullied, then how can it be okay for you to bully others? If you were bullied, you definitely wouldn't do the same to other people. I felt like I liked that moment because it made her a little bit more human.
Yes.
She's not just a mean girl and a bully, but at the same time, I feel like it was so staged. It was an element of, I want to show other people that I'm also human. And maybe you can understand me. No.
Where I come from.
If you are abused, you're not going to be an abuser.
Yeah.
So for me, it just didn't land well.
Guys, /2, Unonku and her
date. Oh, I love a Zulu guy.
Well, I feel like it was. You know what? I feel like they should have gone on other dates before coming onto the show to show us because it was so awkward.
No, I feel like Annie. I feel like Nonku was awkward. That guy was so relaxed. He was.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's not usually on camera, he was relaxed.
He was chilled.
Unonku, who was just like, probably nervous because now I'm bringing a guy onto the show and whatever, which she should be nervous. You got
the girl. What your guts.
What?
That's the show. Oh,
that's the thing. So that's
history.
Exactly. I think she was nervous because of that.
Yeah. And it was a big move.
It was a bold move for her. But also for me, it's always been a theme. Unonku put so much emphasis on relationships. If you don't have one, you don't have one. If you do, you do, and it's great. But don't make that, everything. Where she was just like, no, being stood up or rejected. Like, don't. Go because of Amato right now. And when you're busy wanting to put a man on a pedestal, I'm not saying you shouldn't if you have a good one, but take it slow, especially if you're in the public eye,
I think introducing him on your first date to everyone to judge and to gossip, and some people know him, and it's social media. Yeah, next thing
always
find something wrong.
So they know him from the streets.
Girl.
So they know him from the streets. So just be careful about that.
And then we jump straight to Maria. Well, Maria, at this moment in time, I don't know where does she feature? So my
problem with Maria is that, okay, we see her with Ruben, her husband, whatever the situation is, and it seems as if the sole purpose of that chit chat was to talk about Sarusha. Guys, khona into esingayazi uSarusha noMaria bayazana from a past life and bayazondana and ithina singayazi
beef.
Like, beefing. And then you're calling yourself the queen. Girl, you just arrived yesterday. We don't even know if we like you.
We don't know what she does.
We don't even know what you do.
All of my life is so busy.
Talk about monkey and all of that. But
we are banned. But Maria, okay, firstly, I don't know how she's going to fit into the show, but anyway, she's there now.
We know how she's going to fit into the show.
And then
she's a Sarusha hater.
And then Sarusha.
When's no Sarusha?
Sarusha thinks she's just been catty.
I am so happy she didn't invite her to her event.
No, but it was such a catty move.
No, if Mina now, if when you introduce her kumngani yes, and mina ngizwani nomngani wakho, I'm not inviting her to my events.
Abazwananga really?
Clearly there's an issue here. Clearly there's an issue. Why when okay, you're the new person to the group.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be close with Usorusha, why didn't you go up to her at the event? Why you notice she went up to other people? There were lots of people there.
But all I can say is, Sarusha girl, you got them. This season, you've got them.
I mean, and I'm loving the new Sarusha. As much as people are not perfect, there could be flaws in what she's doing or whatever, but I like being authentic. The old Sarusha would have invited her to events, grinned and bared it, and tried to be diplomatic. You can't always be Mother Teresa. Some people, when people around, they need to find out.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes people need to find out because quite frankly, it's enough now.
Yeah, shame.
So
someone ukuthi uzophelela phi mase kuba umbali no they had the unonko invited Mbali over and they had obviously a very unpleasant moment or very painful moment. Yeah, touching moment I should say, and obviously Umbali's gone through a lot with the kids, and Unonko was just like so loving and we saw different. We know Unonko's loving, right?
Yes, we do know that.
And sometimes she just gets taken out of context. But this time again,
she's messy and she's not eloquent.
Yeah,
she doesn't get taken out of context.
But I like Nonko. I think sometimes she just
Nonko's real. That's what I like.
She needs to find
her
feet. She needs to find the words to express how she's feeling, and then
and she needs to stop being shady.
Because
she's intentionally shady.
No, but that's what we love about her. Shady, messy, and cool.
I mean, I'm not sure. I think she could clean up her act a little bit more. I really believe she can clean up her act a little bit.
If you get along with everybody, then
in true fashion as ladies, Konama clicks, and now this clique is talking about what happened, and now this clique is talking about what happened. I am going to repeat this. I like the fact that Sarusha is gravitating towards Usli and is supportive of Usli. And the fact that she stood up for Annie, we all know, Umganga Annie. So obviously she was going to stand up for Annie. Then there was the other group of girls where Umaria was just basically driving the point home, which she doesn't like Sarusha. That's how I feel happened there. And then obviously Umbali not accommodating other people by not speaking English, you know.
Okay. Yes, Umbali was unaccommodating. But without being messy, she has a spontaneana. But the point is, you can't sit with two people who speak two different languages when you guys have one common language that you can all communicate in. And something happened in any corner when everybody is there. And then now you're gonna address a certain situation in your own language that only one person can understand. That's pretty rude.
Okay, let me give you an example now. I appreciate the fact that it dates Kanonko Ikunmi Zulu spoke Zulu because that's the language he's comfortable in.
Plus,
that's just the key difference is Uguti, he was speaking to somebody that understood.
Yes.
When you're in a group of people, it's always very nice to be able to actually speak to everyone, and everybody wanted to follow that conversation.
Especially because we're talking about the same thing.
But I think also Umbali, what I'm picking up on her is she's a very sweet girl, but in her confessionals,
she's scratchy. I think sometimes well, with the ladies, I think my confessions, you really get to find out what they're really thinking, and in like those minutes or those seconds come to I'm thinking of Usli and Nunku had a moment in the parking lot, and then Usli afterwards she was like, yeah, sure, we're friends, and then all of a sudden when she went to a confession, she was just like,
yeah, be authentic in the moment. And sometimes it's difficult to say to somebody, you know what, this is how I feel, because you're already preempting with how they're going to react. But at the same time, I feel like it's always good to either say nothing or keep it 100.
I think as for your friendship, Kanonko, honestly,
they're not friends.
It's over.
It's over now.
But basically, I don't think they were friends from the word go. I think baby Trilene.
I will
not because we were friends. Because Unonko, she spoke a lot about Usli to Jojo from the sound
which is
of
what
things.
is causing the conflict.
Jojo is giving Usli attitude. I don't think she knows. And now Nonku, she's trying. I think because she had two separate friendships. She had Jojo who was in the show and they don't know each other, and then she had a Slee who was a neighbor. They don't know each other, and then she spoke to this person, and then she spoke to that person about that person.
Yeah.
And now they have a show, and now they're seeing each other all the time.
She's trying to clean up her act,
and now she's trying to act like she's been good to this one, but she's good to this one, but she's spoken nonsense about both, and that's why they're both giving each other attitude.
And she's also trying to clean it up, and also I think she's also trying to make sure they don't get along, because when they do get along, they'll start comparing notes about what she said about this one and what. Because for me, this whole Jojo and Slee thing is like this. You come to me and you tell me, Uguti, hey, ngani, kono utandi, usbanibani utandi nabo. Listen, I don't like Tandy because you've told me things about Tandy that don't make sense. And I'm just like, on the face of it, this girl, and I'm going to take your word. You're my friend. Yeah, was. Utandang Maz. Then you bring Tandy around and then you expect me to like Tandy. And then I'm left confused.
But Nami Tandy, guys, but
the thing I would ask you, if you are the other person, I'll ask you, why don't you like me? Because we don't know each other from a bar of soap. And it turns out our good friend Nomfundo has been saying shady things about both of us to each other, to the other person. So that's what's happening here. And instead of them discussing that, they're being distracted by Nungu's lies because she's always in mess.
Jojo again. She's messy.
Okay, but
she's childish.
Okay, let's talk about it. Then the end of the show, the last scene, or the last scene of
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we at the last scene?
Yeah.
No, we haven't spoken about the scene of Katibehlebo girl or Eni wahlangana naye no Serusha.
Yes, Bahlebile but in
Kodwa uSerusha ke naye.
Wenzeni uSerusha?
Userusha, she's going to the dark side.
She's going to the dark side.
Yes.
I think let's see who she is. I'm all for people being who they are.
Well, I feel like she's been taken advantage of. She says nothing, and now she's tired of being quiet. Now she wants to say something.
Yeah,
and now she's put on the big dog. She's taken Usli. Usli is the big dog. She's taken on Annie,
which we know Annie is always.
And then it's her. So I think she says she is the poodle in this whole thing, and the other was on Rottweilers, because then the poodle can just be quiet and they can just go, and then she goes.
But she's always done that. But now she's also taking ownership.
Yeah.
She's also getting involved. She's just not letting people fight her battles for her. She's actually speaking.
But okay, I'm all for her speaking for herself.
Okay.
But let's just be honest, friend. As friends, there is something I will say to you that I don't say to a friend you know.
Okay.
Vice versa.
Okay, yeah.
And why would now, because
like
I've said I'm upset because so and so did the
like Nonku said, but Annie has said things to Serusha about me, and Serusha has never said
yes, so I don't think that was appropriate. There could have been something else that they were arguing about that's totally different. But if I was venting to you, yeah. I don't think it's right for you, because I was venting to you as my friend.
Okay, let me defend Serusha in this moment. She specifically said, tell her before I see her, because I will tell her.
But why? Why you want to be a tell him more? It's not a cheating moment. It's not like I cheated with her. But it was a venting moment. I was venting to you about something that got me upset.
No, but there's a difference between me speaking to you privately and venting to you about something you did, and then me calling a conglomerate of girls to vent and say, but guys, now in Finnegan too. No, there's a very big difference between
I think maybe that way you're right. I support you there. She should have called Serusha to the side alone, and vented to
like,
Serusha.
you know what, I don't understand what's going on with Annie. Annie is doing XYZ. What should I do about it? That's genuinely venting and asking for advice, as opposed to calling a whole group of girls. That's like you're recruiting people not to like someone, and that's just a weak move. I wanted to say another word, but
is that the weak move of the cook and the chef?
Yay, usne. I have never met such a miserable person in my life.
No, okay,
first, for some strange reason, she sits down. My thing is production. Why is this person mic'd?
No, she was sent from above.
Why is she mic'd? She was mic'd when she came in, and you're not gonna tell me what was get into an event like that.
And
you
just
need
sit.
to be. You can't.
No, she was invited by Sarusha.
She wasn't. No, I don't think she was invited.
She was invited because you can see on the next slot that the girls are complaining, and then she says, "I'll not be a part of this." Then they ask her, "Is she your friend?" And she says, "No." She was invited. She got an invite to the spa because she knows Sarusha is a chef. Wada.
Then that's
cool.
Hella messy.
But because I don't think an event like that can just walk in and be dressed and whatever. But the point is, when you get there and then you sit with these individuals that you don't know, that you've never met, and you've decided to plug yourself in the middle of these people, and then you decide to attack and be part of people being attacked. Cook. Okay, nobody heard Lee say cook or chef because we didn't hear it either. And then once Lee stood up to show that this girl is a snake, what did you hear her? Nobody hurts Lee.
But also,
only she hurts Lee.
But also, we're not your friends, and we also don't know you. So why are you recruiting us to? And then, of course,
oh no, Jojo doesn't need to be recruited.
Yes, Jojo jumped on it because obviously she doesn't like Lee.
Oh, a lifesaver. She wants to be the one who says, "I will save you."
No, I don't think she wanted to save anyone. She didn't know that girl from a bar of soap, and when that girl started spewing nonsense about Ulondi, she was shocked. Did you see her face? So she was not really on that girl's side. It didn't matter who knew that girl. Or the only thing Jojo was interested in at the time is this girl was attacking Slee, which she sees as an enemy. So they had a common enemy at that time. That's the only reason she supported that girl.
But Jojo attacks like a child. We don't do that as ladies.
And then
and if it was my event, Sanya practically barking at each other at my event, the person right lapayana was Usli because Usli was calm. Even though Jojo had a point, but nobody listened to Jojo's point because Jojo was screaming
like
and throwing her toes out the cart as usual. But if Jojo was like, "Girl, I don't like what you did. I don't think it was funny.
Yeah,
you must never do it again."
But also, I feel like, let's take it back. Jojo has no legitimate reason to be angry at Slee. The only legitimate reason she has to be angry at Slee is that Usli said stuff to Nonku, but that was based on what Nonku said. Which Slee tried to explain.
Yes.
So because of that, Jojo has taken that and said, "Okay, I don't like this girl because she did this," and tried to create drama. There's nobody can convince me that Jojo genuinely believed that Slee was after Calvin. Come on. Just by she's tried to insinuate to oh, she said you guys must go and get tattoos alone. That is a stretch, and you know it, and you intentionally did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because if she thought that for 1 second a girl was after her husband, it would not have been that tame.
Yes.
She wouldn't have been that calm. She wouldn't have brought Calvin there, and she would have had a different reaction to Usli. In fact, I think she would have even gone so far as assaulted Usli.
Yes.
So she genuinely doesn't believe that Usli is after Calvin in any way. But because she already has an issue with Usli, I'm going to try and make Usli look as bad as possible by saying all sorts of things. But to get someone is lying. Not both versions cannot be true. You said it, so you didn't say it.
Okay. I feel like Usli said it.
I feel like she said it.
And I'm basing that on the fact that
Calvin said so.
Calvin said so. Okay, Calvin said so. And Nonku said so.
Okay, I think Nonku's a liar. I'm sorry. I would not believe anything Nonku says. I believe it because Calvin said it without speaking to Nonku.
But okay, girl, you said it and it was in a joking manner. Okay, let's say we joke. Oh, you should say, "Oh, standing next to Glenn boyfriend." And say, "Oh, I'm single. You must find me someone." Ha ha ha. But jokes, right?
What's wrong with that? Because even Nonku has said that before.
But again, if she should have just said,
"I
said it," or "No, bengi jokela now. I was just trying to make conversation go bang mas." That is clean.
End of story.
No, I was just trying to make a small conversation go bang mazi, and I was admiring his tattoos, and I thought, "Oh, I should get one as well." Scuba or just trying to make silly conversation. I don't think that's harmful at all.
And I don't think Jojo believes it's harmful either.
I don't think Jojo says it's harmful as well. Because even when Calvin told her the story, she didn't seem upset. And even when they saw each other at the party, she wasn't upset. Until this whole thing came up and then she said, "And then the other day, you said..."
She's so childish.
Girl,
Okay.
Girl,
you should have stayed at home. I'm not saying that you deserved what happened to you. Usne is a foul, bitter, miserable individual, and I am so disappointed that somebody decided to bring that vile creature onto the show. But
and then it keeps on saying,
really? But Londo Buyapi. I believe the reason she ran away from the show is because she didn't want to answer questions. So where were you going, girl?
Maybe she changed her mind. Maybe she's coming back.
She literally could have come to the event, asked not to be mic'd, not to be.
I think she's pulling a mabusi. She's gonna be a friend.
She's gonna be a friend of the show.
Yes.
Well, girl,
because
that's a bad move. You're getting a fraction of the money.
She's going to be there again. No, I think it's not even about the fraction of the money. I think it's about the fact that when she was on the show, she said a lot of things. As the ones that are not married or engaged, or whatever the case might have been. Yeah. Right? And now her life has fallen apart, which is really a sad thing.
It's very sad.
And it's sad when your life falls apart, and it's even worse when your life falls apart in public. Of people. Right? And then it's even worse when people think you know what happened. So she didn't want to answer questions. She didn't want to get the response that maybe she gave others at times, and she left the show. But I think she's going to be a mabusi, and she's going to be the friend of the show, because on the next episode she's there again.
Yay, guys, did you guys see Mbali's face? How shocked she was. That's shocked. How shocked I was.
I was shocked. That girl just came. Guys, attacking continuously.
She's a
attacking
chaser,
like
miserable with 5 layers of makeup. Girl,
who is she?
I'm a private chef. For who?
For who?
I have never seen anything like that, guys. I was so disappointed. And one thing
I go professional.
In the plungo about females is we always trying to bring each other down. Yeah. You don't know Ulondi. Ulondi doesn't know you. That was made clear by her saying, but there's somebody else here and I can't speak about it.
Yes.
You know? And I don't blame Ulondi for not even talking to Jojo, because Jojo then tried to make an excuse about how I saw everything was happening, but I just didn't want to call you. No. A real friend would pick up the phone. A real friend would pick up the phone. So they were not friends. Fine, I get that. But for me, I have a really sensitive spot about speaking to people disrespectfully. Mina, if you speak to me any kind of way, that is the last conversation we will ever have. You know, I don't speak to people that way, especially in a sensitive moment. I know that I'm not perfect. Nobody is. And we can all be jabby and petty and kiki in a light moment. But when I can see, the situation is serious. There's no way I'm gonna take jabs at you when I am trying to have a conversation with you, and it is a something sad or something delicate. That is the time where you need to be the most delicate. If you lack that, I am going to see myself out of your life.
She was so vicious. Like, I felt.
And what did she gain?
I felt for Londi, because she actually literally attacked.
She attacked her.
Where do you take that from? I heard it from the radio. You know nothing about my life. You heard it from the radio.
But you know what, Londi? Kudos to you for standing up for yourself. You did not lay a hand on her. You didn't raise your voice. You were very cool, calm, and collected, and you acted like gracefully. And good for you. People will always have something to say. But you don't even throw hands, girl. Yes, people will always have something to say, but you composed yourself. Yeah. You are better than Jojo, who stood up and started screaming and shouting and telling people to shut up. And
acting like a child as usual.
Yes, acting like a child as usual. Like,
Jojo was oak behavior. And the sooner she learns, the better. Because next time, somebody will really lay hands. And it's going to be sad that as ladies, we act that way.
But
it's someone's function.
Guys. If I invite you somewhere, if I'm not even into security, please go get those ratchet girls out.
Because honestly, why are you guys talking to each other? But
Go will learn a valuable lesson to stop being messy. Guys, I didn't expect this from season. It's from season
so soon.
3, episode 2. I felt like I was watching the Real Housewives of Potomac or the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because Real Housewives of Durban, Shisa. And I hope that it's a better episode next week with cooler heads, and we'll see what happens.
Hopefully some fences are mended.
Yes, what's in get about on a trip. Gule mess.
Bazobuya nge-ambulance.
Hi guys, so let us know what you think. We really appreciate your comments. Thank you guys for the views on YouTube. I did not expect such a big response. It's so difficult to try and get people from one application to another, and we really appreciate the people that watch our videos. We appreciate the feedback. We got feedback about the sound. Hopefully the sound is better. You guys can see that we're wearing mics today. So yeah, we will see you guys next week and enjoy. Cheers,
Happy hour.
guys. Bye.